Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're not bringing you tyrants or generals, but something deeper, the minds that shaped ideologies, democracies, revolutions, and empires. Thanks to the power of modern AI, we've digitally reconstructed the faces of 20 historic political thinkers and leaders. These aren't just portraits, they're time machines. Whether they stood for liberty, revolution, monarchy, or philosophy, each of these figures changed the world in ways we still feel today. Let's dive in. Number 1. Karl Marx. Karl Marx, often regarded as the father of communism, co-authored the Communist Manifesto and reshaped the political and economic thinking of the modern world. His ideas ignited revolutions, inspired labor movements, and polarized societies. Now, brought to life with the power of AI, Marx's face emerges from the shadows of history. Deep, intelligent eyes under a heavy brow, his expression weathered by decades of poverty, exile, and relentless ideological struggle. This is the face of a man who challenged capitalism at its core and gave voice to the working class. His writings still echo in the halls of universities, parliaments, and protests worldwide. Number 2. John Locke. John Locke, the English philosopher and physician, is often called the father of liberalism. His theories on natural rights, life, liberty, and property were revolutionary during the 17th century and became foundational for modern democracy. The AI-generated image of Locke offers a rare glimpse into the man behind the ideas. With a stern yet thoughtful face, Locke appears deeply reflective, as if still lost in contemplation about society, governance, and justice. His writings profoundly influenced the American Declaration of Independence and the French Declaration of the Rights of Man. More than 3 centuries later, his principles still shape the structure of modern constitutions and civil liberties. Number 3. Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was the peaceful warrior who led India's struggle for independence from British colonial rule. Through nonviolent resistance, he became a symbol of moral strength and civil disobedience. The AI recreation brings a soft radiance to his familiar features: wire-rimmed glasses, a modest smile, and the calm intensity of a man who defied empires without ever raising a weapon. Gandhi's legacy transcends borders. His philosophy of ahimsa, or nonviolence, influenced global figures like Martin Luther King Jr. and Nelson Mandela. His image, now restored, is a visual reminder of what it means to lead with the strength of conviction rather than force. Number 4. Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson, founding father, principal author of the Declaration of Independence, and the 3rd President of the United States, was a paradox of brilliance and contradiction. AI enhancement brings his portrait into striking clarity: high cheekbones, alert eyes, and a hint of introspection. Jefferson eloquently penned the phrase, "All men are created equal," yet he himself was a slaveholder. His life represents the complex birth of American democracy, a man of Enlightenment ideals navigating the moral blind spots of his time. His legacy remains a subject of ongoing debate, but his influence on democratic thought is undeniable. Number 5. Vladimir Lenin. Vladimir Lenin was the spark that ignited the Russian Revolution and the architect of the Soviet Union. His AI-reconstructed face reveals the unyielding intensity of a revolutionary thinker, a narrow, calculating gaze and a sharply pointed beard. Lenin didn't just challenge a monarchy, He dismantled it and replaced it with a new ideological system that would shape global politics for the next 100 years. To some, he was a liberator. To others, a destroyer. But his role in modern history is monumental, and the image restored by AI brings us face to face with the man who reshaped the world order through a single-minded pursuit of revolutionary change. Number 6. Otto von Bismarck. Otto von Bismarck, known as the Iron Chancellor, was the mastermind behind the unification of Germany in the 19th century. Through a calculated mix of diplomacy and military strength, Bismarck transformed a fragmented collection of states into a modern empire. The AI rendering reveals a towering figure, stern eyes, strong jawline, and the resolute look of a man who controlled the chessboard of European politics. His policy of realpolitik, politics based on practical objectives rather than ideals, left a lasting imprint on international relations. With this restored image, we glimpse a statesman whose intellect and iron will forge a nation. Number 7. John Stuart Mill. John Stuart Mill, the English philosopher and economist, championed individual liberty, freedom of speech, and gender equality. He was one of the earliest thinkers to argue for women's rights and personal autonomy. AI restoration brings his thoughtful face to life, gentle features, deep-set eyes, and a look of serious contemplation. Mill believed that the best society is one where individuals are free to think, speak, and live as they choose, as long as they don't harm others. His work continues to resonate in debates about civil rights and democratic governance, and now his face too joins the living archive of revolutionary ideas. Number 8. Queen Elizabeth I. Queen Elizabeth I, often called the Virgin Queen, ruled England for 45 years during a golden age of exploration, literature, and growing power. The AI-enhanced image reveals her iconic powdered face, elaborate ruff, and intelligent eyes, symbols of majesty and mastery in an era dominated by men. Under her leadership, England defeated the Spanish Armada, Shakespeare flourished, and the foundations of a global empire were laid. Elizabeth survived court conspiracies, religious conflict, and threats from abroad, all while maintaining a powerful image of strength and wisdom. Her restored face reminds us of the blend of glamour, strategy, and resilience that defined her reign. Number 9. Theodore Roosevelt. Adventurer, reformer, president, a man who spoke softly but carried a big stick. The AI recreation captures his famously energetic face, bold eyes, and unmistakable grin. Roosevelt was a man of action, championing national parks, breaking up corporate monopolies, and reshaping the American presidency with his progressive vision. He rode with the Rough Riders, read thousands of books, and believed in the strenuous life, living with vigor, purpose, and courage. His legacy is as wild and powerful as the landscapes he fought to protect. Number 10. Simón Bolívar. Simón Bolívar, known across Latin America as El Libertador, led revolutionary movements that freed countries like Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia from Spanish colonial rule. AI now reveals his weathered, passionate features, a romantic hero worn by war and disillusionment. Bolívar was driven by dreams of a united South America, but found himself trapped in the very political divisions he tried to erase. His face tells the story of a man torn between idealism and the brutal realities of revolution. He remains a towering figure in Latin American history, a symbol of courage, sacrifice, and the complicated road to freedom. Number 11. Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill was the defiant voice of Britain during its darkest hour in World War II. Known for his bulldog spirit, sharp wit, and unwavering resolve, Churchill led a battered nation through relentless bombing and fear. With AI enhancement, his iconic scowl returns, the deep-set eyes, the furrowed brow, the presence of a man burdened by history but unbowed by it. His speeches rallied millions, and his refusal to surrender turned the tide of global conflict. He was not without flaws. Controversies followed him in colonial policies and personal beliefs, but his leadership under pressure became the blueprint for resilience in wartime. Churchill's face, revived, still seems to whisper, "Never give in." Number 12. Angela Merkel. Angela Merkel, Germany's first female chancellor and a trained physicist, led Europe's largest economy through financial crises, migration debates, and political upheaval with steady hands and quiet strength. The AI-generated image of Merkel shows her famously calm demeanor, kind but resolute eyes, lips pressed in thought. Merkel was never one for drama or slogans. Instead, she became a symbol of stability and pragmatism in a world often shaken by populism. Dubbed Mutti, or Mother, by many Germans, her leadership left a lasting mark on Europe's path in the 21st century. In an era of noise, Merkel governed with composure. Number 13. Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela's journey from prisoner to president is one of the most inspiring political stories of the modern world. A symbol of reconciliation, he helped dismantle apartheid and built a fragile new democracy in South Africa. AI has reanimated his gentle smile and dignified posture, features weathered by decades of injustice and yet shining with hope. Mandela didn't seek revenge. Instead, he chose unity over vengeance, peace over bitterness. His legacy continues to inspire global human rights movements. His face, reborn through technology, reminds us that forgiveness is sometimes the strongest form of resistance. Number 14. Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher, famously dubbed the Iron Lady, transformed Britain with her fierce economic reforms and unapologetic conservatism. AI restoration captures her piercing gaze and tightly held composure, a woman who commanded as much admiration as controversy. Thatcher deregulated industries, clashed with labor unions, and redefined Britain's role on the global stage. To supporters, she saved a stagnant economy. To critics, she deepened social divides. Love her or hate her, Thatcher reshaped Britain and shattered the political glass ceiling, becoming a global symbol of uncompromising leadership. Number 15. Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, steered a fractured nation through the Civil War and abolished slavery. His AI-resurrected face shows profound sadness behind clear, thoughtful eyes, evidence of a man who bore the moral and emotional weight of his country's survival. He wasn't polished or aristocratic, but Lincoln's wisdom and eloquence moved generations. From the Gettysburg Address to the Emancipation Proclamation, his words still stir hearts. His tragic assassination only deepened his mythos. Lincoln's face, now digitally restored, speaks to the burden of preserving unity while fighting for freedom. Number 16. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Franklin D. Roosevelt, or FDR, led America through the Great Depression and World War II. Paralyzed from the waist down by polio, he projected strength from a wheelchair, rarely seen by the public. AI reconstruction reveals his warm, confident expression, the famous upward tilt of his mouth, the calm focus in his eyes. FDR's New Deal transformed the American economy, while his fireside chats calmed a fearful public. His four-term presidency was marked by bold action in the face of crisis. This is the face of a leader who knew how to comfort and challenge his nation at once. Number 17. Benito Juarez. Benito Juarez, a Zapotec indigenous leader and the only full-blooded native to become president of Mexico, stood firm against European intervention and clerical dominance. The AI-enhanced portrait shows a man of quiet pride and firm resolve. In an era when class and colonialism dictated power, Juarez rose through merit, education, and an unshakable sense of justice. He fought for constitutional reforms, national sovereignty, and equality. His leadership symbolized resilience for a struggling republic and remains deeply respected in Mexican history. His calm gaze in the AI image captures the soul of a man who never wavered in his ideals. Number 18. Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass was born into slavery, escaped, and became one of America's most powerful voices for abolition and equality. AI restoration brings back his intense, determined gaze, eyes that had seen chains, but also envisioned freedom. Douglass was a writer, orator, and reformer who forced a divided nation to confront its darkest truths. His words were weapons, his speeches thunderous. He challenged presidents, shattered stereotypes, and demanded dignity not only for African Americans, but for all oppressed peoples. In this digital revival, Douglass's legacy breathes again as a man who gave language to pain and turned it into power. Number 19. Catherine the Great. Catherine the Great, Empress of Russia, ruled with ambition, intellect, and an iron will masked in elegance. AI now reveals the duality of her image, graceful features offset by a commanding presence. She expanded the Russian Empire, embraced Enlightenment thinkers, and reformed the Russian court, all while navigating palace coups and political threats. Though an absolute monarch, she saw herself as a modernizer, educating women, promoting science, and building cultural institutions. Her portrait reminds us of the complexities of power in a time of emperors and revolutions. She was both ruthless and enlightened, a ruler who left her mark on Europe. Number 20. Voltaire. Voltaire, the French Enlightenment philosopher, wielded a pen sharper than most swords. AI brings back his mischievous smile and quick, alert eyes. A man who mocked tyranny, championed reason, and believed deeply in freedom of speech. His wit earned him both admiration and exile, but he never stopped writing, challenging, or dreaming of a society ruled by logic instead of superstition. Voltaire's legacy lives in modern secularism, civil rights, and the enduring value of speaking truth to power. His restored face feels like an invitation to laugh, question, and think freely, just as he once did. "20 Faces, 20 Philosophies." These aren't just names in history books. They are minds and movements that change the way we think, govern, and live. Which political figure inspired you the most? Whose ideas do you still see alive in the world today? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this journey through time fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more digital resurrections from history. Until next time, stay curious, stay critical.